We have not to date seen any evidence of anarchist violent extremists or people subscribing to Antifa in connection with the 6th.
Dude, I was trying to tell you. I couldn't say much.
You were right.
You just have to watch my chat. Is this not going to be the best film you've ever made in your life? Hell yeah.
Oh yeah?
Hell yeah.
You weren't recording, were you?
I'll delete that shit. But I didn't record you or me. It was just voices.
I'm of the opinion that what we saw yesterday was very much by design, that we did have agent provocateurs, and I'm of the opinion that you're one of them.
Interesting. Really interesting on that. Why do you think I'm one of them?
Just because your father is. Your father's psyops, man.
So, you've met my dad, okay? So...
Kind of further elaborates my point.
Just explain to you, because I know people are going to storm the Capitol. I'm on chats, I'm on underground chats, like, I have my resources, There's not me, but I have people, right? And I'm not saying some fucking hot type shit. I'm saying my people in my organization, Insurrection USA, was a civil rights group that is Black Lives Matter, or if you want to label it Antifa, because Trump wants to label it Antifa, but I label myself as Insurrection USA, but for people's context, right? Yeah, they are in chats. They can easily give me information on what's going on, and same with everybody else. But it's a collective of people. You can disassociate yourself. I have John Sullivan. I have Jaden X. That separates. I have Insurgents USA, civil rights organization. So it separates I separate my identity based on the specific role that I'm playing, right?
Is there really a separation?
There is a separation. There is a separation for sure, because I can't be in a crowd full of Trump supporters and say fuck the police or say the things that I would during my regular activism.
Growing up on the mean streets of Stafford, Virginia, a young John Sullivan knew that if he was going to make something of himself, he was going to have to escape the perils of a resource-rich middle to upper-class neighborhood with great schools that was keeping him down. So John did the only thing a young black man growing up in one of the highest income counties in America could do. He strapped on his ice skates and moved to Provo, Utah. This is the story of John Sullivan on Profiles of the Olympiad. Statistically, very few people are able to escape the ghettos of wealthy Northern Virginia, largely due to the fact that most people spend their lives trying to be wealthy enough to get into Northern Virginia. So for a young John Sullivan, he understood full well that the odds were stacked against him. Many of his childhood friends had already fallen prey to the neighborhood's dangerous activities, such as sailing, water polo, lacrosse, and some had even suffered a worse fate: rowing team. With his back against the wall, Sullivan was left with one option: to compete as a speed skater throughout the United States, Spain, France, and Italy with his nationally ranked inline speed skater brothers. But John still felt like he had something more in him to give. So he left it all and moved to Salt Lake City, Utah to train as a professional speed skater, because evidently there's money in that. But things wouldn't be easy for the young Sullivan. Salt Lake City was dangerous and cold. Mostly cold. So John did what any young, black, non-Mormon speed skater from Virginia could do, and worked as an Uber driver, which would enable him to put food in his stomach and about $10 on a 20-sack. John's story was even featured on an Uber commercial, which is totally coincidental and a stroke of luck for this downtrodden young minority from the suburbs. And it was here that John would make his transition from speed skater to speed dealer. The blazing fast pace of Salt Lake City still wasn't enough to quench John Sullivan's thirst. He felt like he was more than just an Olympic hopeful. He was a speed skating, freight shipping, Uber driving cybersecurity expert from Virginia, who was now about to make the next leap in his life without actually having conquered the previous stage. John founded Insurrection USA, which is as suspect as it sounds, and became a full-time activist in order to defend other downtrodden minorities from wealthy Virginia suburbs. John was instrumental in organizing a violent protest in Provo, Utah, where a driver was shot by a protester who had been blocking their car. John knew that moments like these were what forged men of greatness, which is why John did what only a minority ice-skating, Uber-driving speed demon from Virginia could do, and got himself arrested for rioting, making a threat of violence, and criminal mischief. But it would be Sullivan's impromptu speech outside of the White House that would forever cement his legacy in the annals of activism lore.
What's going on, everybody? My name is John Sullivan. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. My group is Insurgents USA. About to burn down. This anybody out here seeing that white militia guy shoot three kids? Yeah, that guy. And I will tell you this is in Utah, a whole bunch of white militia came out there, formed against our group. We out there strapped. We out there ready to burn that down. We out there to defend ourselves. We got to defend ourselves now, too. We do. There's power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Damn right. We got rip Trump out of that office right over there and pull him out that Nah, we ain't about waiting until the next election. We about to go get that motherfucker. I ain't about that. Because you know what time it is? I want y'all to be after me. It's time for a revolution. It's time for a revolution. It's time for a revolution. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Be safe. Be blessed.
Those eloquent words would capture the hearts and minds of at least 12 to 15 young people who would later follow him that day on Instagram, with one of them being quoted as saying, "He seemed like a pretty chill guy who was down for just about whatever." Sullivan would go on to protest in Portland, Oregon, Los Angeles, California, and eventually, in his greatest achievement, the Capitol in Washington, D.C.
There's so many people. Let's go. This is ours. Yeah. I can't believe this is reality. We accomplished this. We did this together. Yeah.
John Sullivan always knew that he was capable of accomplishing great things, and maybe one of these days he will. But for now, encouraging others to burn the Capitol down will have to do. Soon, Sullivan's face would be all over the internet, and even his own brother would tip him off to authorities. People were looking for Sullivan, and Sullivan would have to do what any speed skating, Uber driving minority who's not Mormon but living in Utah would have to do. He live-streamed the event on his own channel like a freaking moron, only to have it later revealed that not one, but two and maybe three networks each paid $35,000 for his footage. Revolutionary indeed. While the saga of John Sullivan is far from over, there's one lesson we can all learn from his experience up until now, is that if your own brother has to turn you in to authorities, you're probably being a bit of a douche. John Sullivan, speed skater, freight shipper, Uber driver, cybersecurity expert, podcaster, and activist, who will always be remembered for being a pretty chill guy who seemed down for just about whatever.
We about to burn this down. This
In San Francisco is all about, well, you know, gay bathhouses. Come on, man.